Gender-based violence, according to UNHCR, is defined as damaging acts committed against a person based on their gender. It is rooted in detrimental norms, power abuse, and gender inequality. Gender-based violence is a serious public health issue and a violation of human rights. Although men can sometimes be victims of GBV, women and girls are predominantly victims of gender-based violence. Gender-based violence can be perpetrated by someone you do not know very well, such as strangers, acquaintances, or colleagues. Someone you are close to, such as family members or friends, or even someone you are in an intimate partner relationship with, such as lovers, spouse, or ex-partner.
Evidence from WHO indicates that 1 in 3 women worldwide have experienced physical violence and sexual assaults from partners and non-partners at some point in their lives. Studies have shown that prevalence of women that go through physical violence and sexual assaults are from women of lower education and income status. However, wealthier women are not immune to gender-based violence. According to the 2018 National Demographic Health Survey, 33% of women aged between 15 to 49 years in Nigeria have experienced physical violence and sexual assaults.
Types of gender-based violence. Any action that causes physical harm to an individual because of their gender is known as physical gender-based violence, and it includes punching, kicking, burning, or cutting. It is important to note that female genital mutilation, female infanticide, and honor crimes are also physical GBV. GBV can also take the form of economic violence, which involves denying a person access to their money, economic activity, or other basic needs by either controlling their finances or preventing them from achieving financial independence. GBV could also be verbal abuse, humiliation, and controlling what an individual can or cannot do.
As part of GBV, we have sexual violence, intimate partner sexual violence, then we have sexual harassment. Sexual violence, this is the act of forcing, intimidating, or even tricking someone into sexual act against their will. It is also engaging someone in sexual act without their consent, either maybe they are below their age, it can due to the illness, it can due to disability, or even some they are under alcohol influence or other drugs. Example is child marriage and trafficking for sexual exploitation. And we also have intimate partner sexual violence. Intimate partner sexual violence, abuse or aggression that occurs in a romantic relationship. Intimate partners refer to both current and former spouses and even dating partners. And the last one, sexual harassment. This can be verbal or physical. It occurs in private and public places such as schools, workplace, or even in the street, marketplaces, or on public transport, including sexual jokes, physical touches, unwelcome sexual advancement, and requests for sex.
Factors contributing to gender-based violence include cultural factors such as gender stereotypes and normative gender expectations. Patriarchal and sexist views all promote violence, dominance, and superiority of men against women. Violence is generally more prevalent among women who lack economic resources. Unemployment and poverty can also cause men to assert their masculinity through violence. The underrepresentation of women in power and politics result in fewer opportunities for women to shape policies or adopt measures to combat GBV. There are a number of reasons why victims of GBV do not seek legal redress, including the fear of retaliation, shame, stigmatization. Oftentimes, victims of GBV do not get the necessary attention, services, or justice they deserve due to insufficient laws and legislation.
The effect of gender-based violence on women are multipronged. It affects the mental, the physical, the social, economic, and sexual well-being of women, which could spiral down to their children. GBV could result in homicide, in suicide, injuries, unintended pregnancy, induced abortion, depression, and anxiety disorder. Women who experience GBV may suffer isolation, inability to work, loss of wages, lack of participation in regular activities, and limited ability to care for themselves and their children. Sexual violence, particularly during childhood, can lead to increased smoking, substance abuse, and risky sexual behavior. Children who grow up in families where there is violence may end up committing or experiencing violence later in life.
Our role in ending gender-based violence. Listen and believe survivors. When a woman shares her experience of violence, she is taking the first step towards breaking the cycle of abuse. It is our responsibility to provide a safe space for her to speak up and be heard. It is crucial to keep in mind that when discussing cases of sexual violence, the victim's sobriety and clothing are irrelevant. Don't say, "Why didn't she leave?" or "What did she wear?" Instead, show solidarity and listen to their stories. Educate the next generation and learn from them. Engage children early in discussion about gender roles and challenge the stereotypes associated with men and women. Educate young people about consent and bodily autonomy, as well as listen to their stories. When young people are empowered with information and educated about women's rights, cases of gender-based violence will be reduced. Understand consent. It is mandatory to obtain free and enthusiastic consent at all times. Make sure there's an active yes from all parties rather than waiting for a no. Adopt enthusiastic yes in your life and talk about it. The use of phrases such as "she asked for it" or "boys will be boys" blurs the line surrounding sexual consent, placing the blame on the victim and excusing the perpetrators. The perpetrator is the sole reason for the assault and must bear the responsibility alone.
Our role in ending gender-based violence is to advocate to make violence against women unacceptable and for such violence to be treated as a public health problem. Provision of appropriate referral and support system in order to prevent the recurrence of gender-based violence against women and children. Healthcare providers need to be trained and educated to respond to survivors' needs holistically and empathically. Remember, the fight against gender-based violence is not an individual task. Collectively, we can eradicate gender-based violence.